Okay, so here's part B. Now we'll talk about multipliers. Now, I'll have you talk about this one.
Alright.
What did they say a multiplier did to the number line?
Well, it said it shrank the line. It like shrank the line or expanded the line until the number where you the number where you wanted to get, what the number where you put in was close to 1.
Okay.
Or was on 1, I think.
All right, well, let's see. Let's say I'm going to let's start with 2 and put it into the multiplier. What happens to my number line now?
Well, I think they put it like you shrank the number line or you expanded it so till 2 was at 1.
Okay. So what happens to the number 1 here?
It turns into 2.
Okay, so 1 goes here. What are some other numbers where do they go?
Well, minus 1
Okay.
will turn into minus 2.
Okay. Minus 1 ends up where minus 2 used to be.
0 stays at 0.
Ooh, how come?
Because you can't multiply 0 by anything. Well, you can, but it doesn't do anything.
Ah, anything you multiply 0 by just stays 0.
Yep.
Okay. How about another one? How about 4? What happens to 4 in the multiplier?
Well, it goes to 8. When you multiply it by 2.
Oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't clear. New number into the multiplier. So now we're going to put 4 into the multiplier, and we're going to look at what happens to the real line here. What happens?
Okay. So 1 would go to 4.
Okay, 1 goes to 4.
Minus 1 would go to minus 4.
All right. Minus 1 goes to minus 4.
And 2 would go to 8.
Okay, so maybe that would be all the way over here. Oops, I wrote 4 there. I meant 1. So maybe 2 would end up here. Maybe this is where 8 is. So what's happening geometrically to the number line?
Well, it's shrinking. Or you're actually like zooming in on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're kind of zooming in on it. I would say you're kind of stretching it out. But however you want to think about it is fine. But now are you ready for a challenge?
Okay.
All right. Let's put in minus 3 into our multiplier. And what does that do to the number line?
Well, minus 3, 1 would go to minus 3.
Okay. 1 goes to minus 3.
Minus 1 would go to 3.
Minus 1 goes to 3.
Well, 4 would go to minus 12, which would be all the way over there.
Yeah, I'll write it, but don't worry, it's off camera, so you won't be able to see it.
So it looks like you sort of picked up the number line and flipped it around.
Interesting.
And then you just worked with it as if it were 3.
Okay. So is that interesting? Does that make sense? So all the adders do is pick up the number line and shift it back and forth, however many you were adding by.
And the multipliers just stretch it. So
What do the multipliers do?
they stretch it.
Oof. Yeah, they just stretch it out, and sometimes they also do something else.
They flip it
Sometimes they flip it. When does that happen?
when the multipliers are negative.
When the multipliers are negative. I guess there's one other case of a crazy multiplier, or one other thing that happened to the number line.
0.
What would 0 do as a multiplier?
It would make the number line into a point.
Single point.
Yeah.
Do you see that?
Yeah.
Okay.
That
So,
would be very interesting.
okay, so you listen to me right now. You do not ever multiply your brother by 0. Okay? Do you understand me?
Yep.
Okay. Alright, so now let's talk about what happens when you have imaginary numbers.
Alright.
Okay.